Hello, my name is James. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Off Radar proves the easiest way to raise the stakes is to put a child in danger. Cal has the first dangerous calling when he wakes up with a high fever. It's a race against the clock because the young kid doesn't have a strong immune system. Michaela, Ben, and Saanvi all team up in a fast-paced manifest. The Stone family is on high alert when Cal wakes up screaming in another language and sweating all over. They rush him to the hospital. But his doctor isn't able to discover what is the cause for the fever. Luckily, Saanvi is already there and is confident they'll be able to help him. Grace isn't so sure, and she privately speaks with the doctor regarding Saanvi's experimental treatment. While she's out of the room, Cal begins mumbling in another language again. Saanvi overhears it and recognizes the exact wording. An international passenger had asked for help on the plane, but she didn't understand the language. Suddenly, the three realize that this must be another calling. Michaela runs off to find Anna Ross, a translator on the flight who had helped the man. In the meantime, Ben and Saanvi stay with Cal to monitor his condition. It seems like Ben's and Grace's marriage takes a big hit in this episode of Manifest. She confronts him about Michaela hunting down a passenger instead of staying at the hospital. He comes clean about the voices and she doesn't react well. It does feel like Ben could have elaborated about some of the people both he and Michaela have saved to help her understand. Nevertheless, the lack of communication leads Grace to angrily demand he let this mystery go. This won't be so easy since Michaela discovers the mysterious passenger, Marco, has disappeared. Anna Ross is living in a motel following her husband's divorce but hasn't kept in contact with Marco. Turns out, he took a bus to a government shelter instead of returning home. Ben has a report which says otherwise, and Michaela discovers Marco's bus has been scrubbed from all records. Anna also reveals the phrase Cal has been saying translates to "help me" in Bulgarian. Back at the hospital, he's actually mumbling a new word which means hurry. Ben and Saanvi do their version of Sherlock and Watson to try and locate the missing bus. Considering how much Grace is against him jumping into detective mode, it's interesting she doesn't catch him with the giant printout map. Nevertheless, it helps them narrow down some locations to send to Michaela. She's more than prepared to take a drive upstate, but Ben encourages her to invite Jared for backup. He's not exactly keen on the idea since he's fed up with all of the half-truths. Manifest throws him a bone by cluing him in slightly. Michaela lets him know the government might be kidnapping passengers and he ultimately changes his mind. It's a good thing too because they do find a government site full of armed guards. They talk themselves out of an altercation and snag some damning photos. Time is running out though because Cal's doctor wants to take him off the cancer treatment. Ben flat out refuses, because he knows this could kill his son in the long term. Grace isn't so sure because she wants to treat the fever first and foremost. He tries to explain things to her again following Michaela's discovery but she isn't swayed. In the middle of their argument, Ben runs out of the hospital to talk with Agent Vance. In the meantime, Michaela finally comes clean to Jared. He takes the news better than Grace, probably because he got to see the government facility. Now that everything is out in the open between these two, perhaps Jared won't become a mole to the NSA. He does make a point to let her know she's not alone. Ben ends up meeting with Vance and threatens to go to the press with this information. None of the NSA agents are that impressed with his threats, but they do take any vital evidence from Ben's phone. While it doesn't seem like the NSA is aware of the experimentation, they are certainly going to look into it now. Grace is hard to root for in this week's manifest because we already Cal's infection is because of the plane. She's stuck in the thankless role of being the logical one in a fantastical show. Unfortunately, she takes out her frustration on Saanvi when the doctor encourages her to wait for Ben. When Cal has a seizure, Grace demands he's given antibiotics right away even when Saanvi says they won't work. The seizure means it's a viral infection and the antibiotics will do nothing. At the hospital, Grace breaks down after being alone for so long. Manifest isn't going to kill off a kid, we hope, and Cal is healed by the episode's end. However, Marco is still getting experimented on but he's granted a brief reprieve. Saanvi counts it as a win since Cal does manage to pull through. However, Ben and Michaela are already planning on how to save Marco. Vance gets his first big breakthrough this week when he investigates the farm building. It's been emptied out, but Vance finds a bloody bandage. Could he be teaming up with the Stone family later in this season? It seems likely because the scientist experimenting on the passengers promises to get the program back up and running again soon. It looks like Manifest has found its true big bad for the rest of the season. What did you think of Off Radar? Be sure to tell us in the comments below.